The drama starts in 2011 at Shanghai Hospital, where our main lead, Jian, is performing a surgery. He successfully completes it, and both the patient's family and the senior doctors at the hospital are very impressed with his work. After the surgery, his friend Zhou calls him. Zhou asks Jian to meet the next day at Washi Company's garden because he wants to arrange a blind date for his friend with a girl named Mei. As soon as Jian hears Mei's name, he gets ready to meet her because he had seen a girl named Mei at an event before, and he liked her instantly. However, he isn't sure if the Mei he's going to meet is the same girl he saw or not. The next day, Jian leaves Shanghai City to meet her, but on the way, his car has an accident with a truck. He gets badly injured. Then the story jumps to 2018 in Nanjing City, where we see Mei with her cousin, Rio. Mei is our female lead. A university student named Fong is coming to teach tuition to Mei. When Mei opens the door for him, she is left staring because she had liked Fong at first sight. Fong and Mei are from the same university, but different departments. Fong's childhood friend Wan was Mei's hostel roommate, but Mei could never see Fong before because he was always busy with part-time job. Then the story goes back to 2012. Mei is in her final year of Nanjing University, and today, she is going from home to college for the new semester. When she reaches the college, Mei's roommates welcome her. Along with them, Fong, Wan, and other students are also there. Fong and Mei's behavior looks strange. Wan also does not look happy to see Mei, and Mei also looks uncomfortable around Fong and Wan. When Fong says he wants to take everyone to lunch to celebrate his new job, Mei does not want to go at first, but after the girls insist, she agrees. At lunch, Mei eats the food she brought herself and refuses to eat anything ordered by Fong. Still, she celebrates Fong's job with them. She also tells everyone about her internship at Washi Company, which she is doing during her studies. She does not know if it will become a permanent job. This internship came through family connection, and Fong does not look happy about that. After the party, he talks to her alone and says she should build her career with her own hard work, not family help. Mei tells him to stay out of her matters. Their other friends come and ask Mei to go to karaoke with them, but her uncle is calling her to stay in his house, so she refuses. Before going to her uncle's house, she goes to her hostel room to get the PSP her brother Rio had asked for. While she is inside, her roommates come in. Mei is putting curtains around her bed so no one sees her, but she hears them talking about her. It seems something serious happened between Mei and Wan in the past. The girls want to clear misunderstandings, but Wan says Mei is not even her friend and leave. One of the girls, Jia, notices Mei's shoes and understands she was there, but she does not tell anyone. After the roommates leave, Mei also leaves. On the bus, while thinking about what Fong said, Mei gets off near her uncle's house. Her brother Rio comes to pick her up. She has dinner with her uncle and aunt. They want her to stay with them for her final year, but she refuses because finishing her studies is easier while living in the hostel. Here we learn about her parents' divorce. Her parents met in college and fell in love. They married when her father had no house or job, and her mother handled everything alone. She never left him because of money, but when he became successful, he left her. It is clear Mei is deeply affected by this divorce. In college, after listening to her friends, Mei decides to attend the college job fair. She is not truly happy with the internship she got through family connections and wants to become independent on her own ability. So she goes to the job fair with her friends, where many big companies have come. The job fair was going on, and students were submitting their biodata to companies they like. Fong was watching Mei more than Wan, trying to see which company she was applying to. Mei was giving her interview to people from Shanghai investment companies. Seeing this, Wan asks Fong to submit her biodata there too, but Fong tells her to wait until the crowd is left. When everyone finishes and comes out, Fong sees that Mei still has 3 biodata left. He tells her not to waste them and says he will submit them to companies for her. But the job fair is already over. Still, Fong takes her biodata and submits it to all the companies that came. One of his seniors works at one of the companies, so he gives Mei's biodata to her. At that moment, when Jian hears Mei's name, he comes there. After seeing Mei's biodata, Jian starts asking Fong about her. Fong then realizes the company where he submitted the biodata belongs to Jian's family. Jian's behavior feels strange because he keeps trying to find out if Fong and Mei are in a relationship because Fong works in a bank connected to Jian's company, and now he is submitting Mei's biodata there. Fong clearly says no, There is nothing like that, and May herself wants to join the company. After hearing this, Jian leaves. Outside, Fong meets the others, but does not tell anyone that he submitted May's biodata to China's biggest company. Wan asks Fong about his senior working in Xingyuan company, but Fong replies rudely in front of everyone, which feels strange to all. Then Wan notices her phone is missing. She is not too worried because she wrote her email and hostile phone number on her biodata. But the next day, when she sees that May gets an interview call from Xingyuan company before her, she feels very jealous. She now understands that Fong submitted May's biodata to the biggest company and hid it from everyone. At the same time, Jian finds out from his assistant about May's interview. May's friend, Shin, prepares May for the interview by asking her questions. May answers everything properly, even in English, so Shin is sure she will get the job. But May is worried people might misunderstand her and Fong. Shin says there is no reason for that because Fong submitted the biodata by his own choice. May really wants the job at Xingyuan company to prove she can get a job without family support. May goes for the interview. The company's HR takes her interview because Jian is busy in a meeting with investors. The company is discussing a development project in the city's Wuxi area. Investors agree, but Jian says it is only a charity project and will bring no profit. The investors agree with him, and after thinking, the company chairman Zhao, who is also Jian's grandfather, cancels the deal. This upsets the Yuancheng company and Wuxi company involved in the project, and Jian's uncle Chen also does not like how much control Jian has in the company. Jian looks out from his cabin window at Huaya Bank and thinks about Fong. At the same time, May stands outside the office building, looks at Huaya Bank, and thinks about Fong too. Later, May goes to college and tells her roommates that her Xingyuan company interview went very well. But Wan does not look happy at all. Shin privately tells May not to talk about the interview in front of Wan because Wan has not received any call yet. May then finds out that Wan also applied there. If she knew earlier, she would not have talked about it and hurt her. At night, Wan goes to Fong's house and asks him to talk to his senior at Xingyuan company about why she did not get an interview call. Fong agrees. We also see that Fong's mother likes Wan a lot. The next day, May gets a message from Xingyuan company saying she has cleared the first interview round. She is very happy and goes to share the good news with her friend. But instead of being happy, they look angry. May does not understand why. Wan then accuses May of hiding the interview call. That day, May was the only one on campus, and since Wan's phone was lost, she gave the hostel number. The company called the hostel phone, and according to the roommates, May must have picked up the call and hid it so Wan would not get a chance at a big company. Fong found out about this after the interview from his senior working in Xingyuan company. May says she was in the college library at that time and then left for her uncle's house. She did not pick up the call. Why would she ruin someone's career? Her friends then tell her to call the company and prove whether she picked up the call that day or not. May did not want to disturb the company by calling for a small issue and ruin her image, but she also needed to prove herself, so she pretends to call the company by dialing a wrong number. At the same time, Fong takes her phone, and everyone finds out she did not actually call the company. She dialed an invalid number. Seeing this, even the friends who did not believe Wan before start blaming May. May keeps saying that she did not pick up Wan's interview call. Saying this, she leaves the place crying. Fong is confused about who is right and who is wrong. May stops at a place and cries while remembering her past. We learn that May fell in love with Fong the first time she saw him. But Fong and Wan were childhood friends, so May doubted that they might be in a relationship. To confirm this, she once asked Wan about Fong's love life. Wan said that even after being childhood friends and neighbors, she knew nothing about him. May then believed they were not dating, so she proposed to Fong. Fong rejected her proposal, but May said she would wait for him and gave him time to think. Shin had later told May that people in college are calling her the girl who looks at someone else's boyfriend. Even though Fong and Wan are not a couple, everyone knows their families want them to get married, and Wan also likes Fong. Since May's proposal, Wan had been angry with her, and this became the reason for their misunderstanding. May had also apologized to Fong by message for proposing, but he never replied. Because of this, May still feels uncomfortable in front of both of them. Now she was worried people would believe that since May could not get Fong, she was trying to ruin Wan's career. Upset, May goes to live at her uncle's house because she cannot share the same hostel room with Wan anymore. Seeing her troubled, her brother Rio understands that Wan and Fong are the reason. He tries to comfort her, but May does not tell him anything and locks herself in the room. She wants to prove her innocence, so the next day she goes to the hostel library and starts collecting proof to show she did not receive that call. People in college are gossiping about her. Won is calling everyone and turning them against May. She also insults May by showing the new phone Fong gave her, clearly saying that Fong belongs to her and May can never have him. May is not affected by Won's word. When Shin returns to the hostel and learns about the incident, she clears everything. She tells everyone that she picked up the interview call that day. Shang Yuan Company said they would contact Won themselves after the next interview round. Because of this, Shin did not tell Won and went home that night. After knowing the truth, May's friends feel guilty for doubting her, but Won still shows no sign of apologizing. Shin then arranges a lunch party with her friends, college seniors, and professors. There, Shin tells the full truth and even brings her bus ticket as proof. She shows the exact time she received the call and when she left the hostel. Shin also invites May to the lunch. May comes with her own proof and shows that she left the hostel, went to the library, and then went to her uncle's house. The call came after she had already left. This clearly proves that May did not pick up the call. Everyone, including her roommates, forgive her. Only Won neither apologizes nor tries to clear things. Still, May is happy that at least others no longer misunderstand her. Fong also learns the truth and feels guilty for doubting May. Then his mother comes to his room and talks about his marriage with Won after college. After Fong's father's death, Won's family supported them a lot, and both families are very close. Won and her parents like Fong, and now he also has a good job. So both families want to see Fong and Won get married, but Fong is not happy at all. It feels like he has no feelings for Won. The next day, May goes to the college academic building to meet her professor. Fong is also there, but May does not talk to him. The professor had called May to discuss her thesis, and according to him, it was written wrongly, and she may even fail. Hearing this, Fong requests the professor to give May one more chance. May tells Fong to stay out of her matter, which makes the professor even angrier. Still, because of Fong's request, the professor gives May one last chance to rewrite her thesis. May leaves, and Fong follows her because he wants to apologize. She does not stop the lift, but since it had not started yet, Fong gets in. He offers help with her thesis, but as soon as the lift opens, May leaves without saying anything. Later in college, May meets Jia, who couldn't come to the lunch and apologizes for doubting May during the interview call issue. May forgives her, but when Jia starts defending Won, May gets angry. May says Won is not that innocent. She blamed her, humiliated her in front of the whole college, and never apologized. Won knew May liked Fong, and everyone knew their families wanted Fong and Won to marry, but Won never told this to May to stop her from proposing. Instead, she let her propose and face humiliation. May says Jia should understand both sides, not just defend Won as her best friend. Jia is left thinking, and May walks away. The next day, while working on her thesis at her uncle's house, May gets a call from Fong asking her to check her email. She finds a lot of useful thesis material there. Translating so much important content from English to Chinese is very hard, and Fong did all of it for her. May is shocked and calls him. His roommate answers and tells her Fong worked all night on her thesis and is now sleeping. Fong then wakes up and takes the call. May cannot say anything to him. Fong tells her to call him anytime if she needs help. May feels that this is his way of apologizing for doubting and blaming her. She is confused about whether she should use his material or not, afraid Won might get angry again. After a few days, May completes her thesis and submits it. The professor likes it very much. With the thesis done, college is about to end. Seeing the campus and students makes May emotional. A few days later, May goes with her cousin Rio for his exam. May is nervous for Rio, but Rio is relaxed and even plans a Europe trip after exams to see colleges there. After the exam, Rio meets May and she is taking him to lunch when he stops her and says he wants her to meet someone. It turns out to be Han, Fong's younger brother and Rio's classmate. May feels uncomfortable seeing Han, and Rio insists on taking him to lunch with them. May agrees and takes good care of both boys, even giving them exam tips. May is actually happy she did not meet Fong there, as she does not want Won to get angry again, spread rumors, or insult her. The next day, Mei and Fong finally meet again because Fong had come to drop his brother Han for the exam. This was actually Rio's plan. He wanted to bring Mei and Fong closer, so before leaving, he hints Mei to spend some time with Fong. But Mei feels very awkward. Fong tries to talk, but she does not open up. Fong thanks Mei for taking care of his brother. Mei says Han is like her own brother, and she helped with no other intention. On Fong's request, Mei goes with him to a restaurant. Fong orders dishes she likes. Their food will come after the exam ends, so they start waiting for Rio and Han to come. Mei remembers that once, when Fong's mother was in the hospital, she helped by giving 50,000 yuan and never asked for it back. Fong has helped her many times, so she wonders if he is just returning that favor. Feeling awkward, she steps outside for a while. After lunch, Fong apologizes alone for the past incident. Mei forgives him, but she has no intention of being friends with him. When the brothers finish their exam, Han tells Fong to go home early because Wan has invited them for dinner. Fong does not want Mei to hear this, but Mei has already left with Rio. Rio understands that Mei and Fong may never be together, but he is still happy seeing his sister smile. A few days later, there is a thesis presentation. Fong comes only to hear Mei's presentation. That night, Mei plans to go to her uncle's house, but Jia asks her to stay because she wants to talk. Jia sincerely apologizes, saying she forgot others while blindly supporting Wan and unknowingly spread college gossip. Mei has no hate in her heart and forgives her. Thinking about graduation, they get emotional. Soon, the graduation ceremony happens. For years of memories are captured in photos, and friends promise to meet again before leaving. Mei misses her last bus and waits at the bus stop. Fong arrives there too. It is the last bus going toward the airport. Some students leave, others will go home the next day. It is their last night in the hostel. Because of the crowd, Mei cannot get on the bus, so Fong stays back with her and protects her. Wan calls Fong and asks him to return by cab. Mei wants to leave alone to avoid more conflict with Wan, but Fong asks her to walk with him to the hostel because he wants to talk. Since college is over, Mei agrees. Fong asks about her thesis and says he noticed she did not use the material he gave. Mei did not want to take his help, but she lies and says she did not find it useful. She feels awkward, so she makes an excuse about foot pain due to high heels and says she will take a cab alone. Fong tells her not to suffer so much just for fashion, which surprises Mei. Wan was wearing the same heels, so why did he not say anything to her? Fong explains that he doesn't even notice what Wan wears. It seems Fong has a soft spot for Mei, which is why he notices small details about her. However, Mei misunderstands this. She thinks Fong sees her as a spoiled rich girl who has never had to struggle. In reality, even without family support or resources, she believes she can stand on her own, just as she proved by clearing the Xing Yuan interview without anyone's help. Fong, for his part, never misunderstood Mei. In fact, he says that once true love had come to him on its own, but because of his own foolishness, he lost the chance to love truly. Here, Fong is thinking about Mei, but Mei mistakenly believes he is talking about Wan. That is why she encourages Fong to win back the lost love. Hearing this, Fong becomes happy, thinking he might regain Mei's love. Mei, on the other hand, believes he is happy about Wan. Due to this embarrassment, neither of them clears the misunderstanding. When they reach the hostel after walking together, Mei tells Fong that he looks very handsome in short hair and white clothes, just like the first time she saw him. Saying this, she goes inside the hostel. Since it is their last night in college, before leaving, she comes out to the balcony once more, calls Fong, and says goodbye. From that day onward, she decides to end all her romantic feelings for him. From now on, Fong will only be her friend. She resolves never to feel love for him again because she wants to see Fong happy with Wan. But when Fong sees Mei calling him from the balcony, he thinks that she loves him the same way he loves her. He smiles back and says goodbye, hoping that when they meet again, they might start a new chapter of love together. The story then moves a few days forward. After Rio's exams finish, Mei and her brother Rio travel around Europe together and enjoy the trip. During the flight, Mei's fear of flying makes her nervously joke about dying, which scares an elderly passenger so much that he cannot sleep, and then he scolds her before they land, making Rio laugh. Rio and Mei travel around Europe together and enjoy many experiences. At the same time, Rio is attending pre-admission classes for Cambridge University, so Mei has to stay with him for many days. During this trip, They are very happy and share their hearts with each other. Mei heals emotionally from her heartbreak and slowly gains closure about her past feeling. When Mei returns to China after a month, she meets her mother. Her mother asks her to visit her father as well. Mei's father, Liang, was actually the owner of Yuan Chung Company, whose deal had been cancelled by Jian's company. Because of this, her father was extremely angry. But when Mei comes to meet him at the office that day, all his anger turns into happiness. She brings a scarf as a gift for him even though Mei is still angry with him because her father's friend, Hui, was the reason her parents got divorced, and her father is still with Hui. Liang says that he has no affair with Hui and that he is only taking care of her in her illness. But Mei believes that Hui is just using her father and is not actually sick. Her family used to be so happy, and her father loved her deeply. Because of Hui, their whole family fell apart. Liang does not want to talk to Mei about these matters. In reality, he wants to see her handling the company, because after him, the company will belong to Mei. So he asks her to think about joining it. When Mei asks her mother for advice, her mother says that Mei should join the company only if it makes her happy. She does not want Mei to be trapped in her parents' broken relationship by joining her father's company. After a few years, when the divorce no longer affects her emotionally, she can join the company then. For now, at this young age, Mei should work where her heart feels happy. That is why Mei finally decides to join Xing Yuan Company. Meanwhile, Fong goes with his senior to Jian's company for a meeting where he meets Jian. During the meeting, Jian cleverly brings the topic of Mei and asks Fong about her, because his company had offered her a job, but she had not joined yet. Fong does not know the full story. He only knows that Mei went abroad, so he tells Jian that. Jian then assumes that Mei will not join their company and will stay abroad. But in reality, Mei had already joined Jian's company. Jian did not know this yet because Mei was working on a very junior position. Mei adjusts very quickly at the company. Just like college, she gets roommates named Yin and Wan, and she becomes close friends with them. She works sincerely, and the company people are very happy with her work. During lunch breaks, she shares conversations with Yin, Wan, and some other girls from the company. The girls were feeling sad because there was no handsome guy worth watching in that office. Then their senior Ming tells them that the company owner's grandson, Jian, is going to join their department. Everyone becomes very happy. At least now they will get to see one handsome guy every day. On top of that, he was a former surgeon, so they are sure that Jian must be very handsome and intelligent. But according to Mei, a person who was once a surgeon and is now handling a company cannot be young. She thinks he must be a middle-aged uncle. Hearing this, all the girls' hopes get crushed. That night, Mei is watching a drama with Yin and Wan in the hostel when the Wi-Fi stops working. Yin wants to finish the drama at any cost because she wants to enjoy the kissing scene. So, on their request, Mei goes to the office to download the drama using the office Wi-Fi. While Mei is downloading the drama, there is a problem with the wire. When she goes under the desk to fix it, Jian suddenly comes there. This is the first time Mei sees Jian. She does not know that he is the future owner of the company and also her boss, so she starts questioning him about how an outsider entered the office without permission. Jian just keeps looking at her. He still does not tell her that he is the boss, and Mei does not recognize him. Jian feels a little angry about this and leaves. Mei finishes downloading the drama and returns to the hostel. She does not know Jian's name, but tells her friends about him. They do not take it seriously. The next day, when Mei sees Jian in the office, she realizes that he is their boss, and she gets completely shocked. Now she is scared that Jian might recognize her and fire her because of her rude behavior. On top of that, she also has to attend a meeting with Jian that day. As if this was not enough, a big problem appears in the finance department. A few days earlier, after office hours, a man from the procurement department came to Mei and her senior Chiu. They were about to leave, but Fei stops them to write prices of the materials bought for the company so payment could be made. Mei and Chiu start writing the prices, but Fei says in a hurry that adding everything properly is not important. Just stamp it for approval and send it to the cashier. This work is done on Mei's computer, so the documents get stamped with Mei's name. Because of Fei, they also do not double-check everything. The materials were bought from a foreign company. The prices were written in Chinese yuan, but the payment was made in dollars, and because of this difference, extra payment was made. Fixing this mistake becomes very difficult. The procurement department puts all the blame on the finance department, even though the real mistake was there. They rushed the finance team at the last moment and did not give time to check properly. To protect Chiu, Mei is ready to take all the blame herself, and also her name stamp is already on the document. Jian is talking to Mr. Wu about an unfinished building near the company. In 2005, 2 plants were planned there, but due to a financial crisis, the work stopped. Now Jian seems to want to complete that project. Mr. Wu introduces Jian to Mr. Hao from the technology department, who is one of the best employees. Jian is very impressed by Hao's work. At that time, Jian finds out about the problem in the company. To investigate, he calls both departments to his cabin. First, Kang, the head of procurement, comes with another employee to talk to Jian. They try to convince him that the finance department is at fault. After leaving the cabin, Kong and Fei again start speaking badly about Mei and Xiao. Mei is ready to take responsibility, but she still believes the mistake was made by the procurement department because they should have checked the documents first. Then Jian comes there. Seeing him, Mei thinks she is surely going to lose her job. But first, Jian stops Mr. Kang from talking rudely to the staff. Then he calls Mei into his cabin and, as punishment, removes her from the finance department and transfers her to the admin department. This shocks Mei. Still, Xiao and the finance team feel relieved because at least Mei's job is saved, even if she now has to work under Jian. The next day, Mei officially joins the admin department, which is headed by Jian, and her desk is right outside his cabin. This was good for Mei because both her roommates were from the admin department. On Jian's order, the admin senior Wang gives Mei the job of organizing files in the storeroom. Ian explains the work briefly, and then Mei starts working alone while humming a song. By looking at the dates written on the document, Jian understands that the mistake was not Mei's, but the procurement department. They had enough time to recheck the payment document. Later, while leaving the office, Jian sees Mei working in the storeroom and singing. He goes inside and gives her some files to assemble, but instead of leaving, he stays there. He keeps checking files with Mei for hours. He does not talk much, and this continues for many days. Maybe Jian wants to stay close to Mei in this way. Mei tells this to her friends, and they get confused. They cannot understand which files Jian checks with Mei every day in the storeroom. To find out, one day after Jian leaves, Mei reads those files. They're about PV glass and product purchase contracts. Seeing this, Mei feels Jian might be doing a big investigation. After all, he was a famous surgeon, so he must be planning something big. Mei's friends also tell her that some people in the office are linking her with Jian and spreading affair rumor. Because Jian spends so much time with her in the storeroom and still did not fire her after such a big mistake, people think he is keeping her in his department to stay close to her. These office gossips make Mei feel very uncomfortable, but she continues doing her work. To help Jian, Mei organizes purchase files of different years for all products. Jian is very pleased seeing this. She tells Jian that if he ever needs help, he can ask her. Hearing this, Jian tells her to prepare details of the top 50 products, including purchase rates, contracts, external price inquiries, and a file of historical prices of each item, and submit it by the next day. Hearing this, Mei gets worried because finishing all this in one day is very difficult. She feels Jian hates her and is giving her impossible work. But according to her friends Ian and Wan, maybe Jian likes her, and that is why he gives her work that can only be done by staying close to him. Mei believes that a quiet person like Jian cannot love anyone. Mei starts working on the task. The next day, she submits the complete file of the top 50 products on time. Jian is very happy with her work. Then Mei makes an excuse of being sick and asks for 3 days leave. But Jian understands she is lying because he himself is a doctor. When Mei asks him about his medical background, Jian gets slightly angry and refuses to give her leave. Mei finds it strange why he gets so angry just because of his doctor background. She shares this with Ian, but they still cannot understand the reason behind Jian's anger. Later, Ian, Wan, and Mei finish work and return to the hostel. They see a family moving into their hostel building. They get worried. This is their hostel, so where will this family live? Will they be forced to leave? Wan finds out the truth and tells Mei privately that the boy who moved in the hostel building yesterday has joined the procurement department. A room near their rooms was opened for him. Even so, no one asked the girls before allowing a boy to stay in the girls' hostel. Complaining is useless, because that boy is a relative of Kong, the head of procurement. Mei understands that Kong did this to trouble her. Last time, when the procurement department tried to blame the finance department, Mei had strongly spoken against Kong. This time, she decides not to stay quiet. She decides to complain to Jian about the hostel issue. Since Jian is the future owner, Kang will have to listen. Although Ian and Won feel a little scared about the complaint idea, Mei waits for Jian's meeting to end. As soon as the meeting finishes, she asks Jian for some private time. When Jian enters his cabin and removes his coat, Mei keeps looking at him and imagines how he must look in his lab coat. Then she tells him her entire problem. Jian calls the hostel owner Mr. Tong and asks about the issue. From Mr. Tong, Jian learns that the new boy who moved into the hostel is Mr. Kang's relative. There was no other space available in the boys' hostel, so on Kang's request, the boy was placed in the best room of the girls' hostel. Mei's point was very clear. Before allowing a boy to stay in the girls' hostel, they should have asked the girls first. Also, if girls were already living there, the best room should have been given to them, not to a senior officer's relative. Mr. Tong admits his mistake, but he does not want to argue with Kang and Jian or create trouble. During this discussion, Jian receives a call from some Mr. Ming. After the call, Jian tells Tong that instead of removing the boy, he should give the girls the second best room in the hostel. Tong agrees. After Tong leaves, Jian tells Mei that if she faces any big problem in the future, she should come directly to him. Mei finds this very strange. After making so many mistakes, why does Jian still help her so much? She shares this with her cousin Rio, but he does not give any clear advice. According to him, Jian was a surgeon and now became CEO in just 1 year because the company belongs to his grandfather Zhao, so having some attitude is normal. Still, if Jian helps Mei, she should feel lucky. Rio also tells Mei that Jian has cancelled the deal against her father's company. Mei learns this only now and becomes even more confused about Jian's personality. Mei gets the room, but it has only 2 beds. So she asks her 2 friends to take the room instead. Both friends feel guilty because they were scared of Mr. Kong and did not go with Mei to complain to Jian. Now that Mei had solved the problem alone, they felt bad using the room without her. But Mei does not listen to them. According to her, they have been living in the hostel and working in the company longer, so they deserve good facilities first. They shift to the room, which has a fridge, washing machine, and all facilities. They are very happy and tell Mei to come and spend time in their room anytime. Huaya Bank's manager, Mr. Song, gets a call from Mr. Bo from Xing Yuan Company. They discuss Jian's plan to start the PV project. It seems Jian wants to take a loan from Huaya Bank, and Mr. Bo appears to be working against Jian. After this, Song calls Fong and asks him to check Jian's factory the next day to decide about the loan approval. The next day, while Mei is going to work, Jian is watching her from his office window. Just then, Mr. Ming comes and tells him about the day's work and also tells him that Fong from Huada Bank is coming to inspect the factory for loan. Jian's attention stays only on Mei and on what duty she has today. Later, Jian learns that Mei will be working with the finance team on factory documents. At lunchtime, Mei hears from other female employees that a handsome guy from Huaya Bank named Fong has come to inspect the factory and meet Jian regarding the loan. Hearing this, Mei immediately runs toward the office to see Fong. Jian notices Mei heading toward the office and understands that she is going to meet Fong. However, Mei stops midway and does not meet him. At the same time, Fong thinks for a moment about going to the factory to meet Mei, but for some reason, he returns to the bank. Jian assumes that Mei left her work incomplete just to meet Fong. He gets angry and assigns her 1 full week of factory duty with overtime, even though the workload is very heavy and not really her job. Since Jian is her boss, Mei has no choice but to follow his orders. Later, Jian learns from employees that Fong returned to the bank without even meeting Jian or inspecting the factory because he was not willing to wait. Jian feels that Huaya Bank may not approve the loan, so he asks his team to deal with Yushin Company instead, since they have worked together before and can negotiate the PV project properly. Meanwhile, Mei's life becomes very difficult due to the heavy factory work. One day, she even gets injured. The next day, following her friend's advice, she starts wearing a helmet while working. Even then, the hard work and overtime exhaust her badly. Still, she prepares a full report and submits it to Jian on time. Mei feels Jian is intentionally making her suffer, but in reality, Jian quietly keeps an eye on her to make sure she is not getting hurt too badly. Because of all this overtime, Mei no longer has the energy to go home on the weekend, so she lies to her mother, saying she will go out with friends that weekend. She thought she would sleep well and rest, but because of her 2 friends, the next day she had to go visit a temple with them. They were waiting for a cab outside the hostel. Then Jian came and offered them a lift to the temple. Ian and Wan agreed immediately. Actually, They wanted May to sit in the car with Jian because they thought if May impresses Jian, then he would never punish her again or change her department. So May sat in the front seat with Jian, but she slept the whole way, while the other two talked with him. After some time, Jian dropped them at the temple gate and left. Then they realized that because Jian didn't want to disturb May's sleep, he didn't drop them at the bus stop but at the temple gate. May, however, wanted to stay far from Jian because he seemed very rude to her. May and Wan go inside the temple to pray. May prays that she would not meet Jian much and would stay far from him. Otherwise, she didn't know how he would punish her or how often he would change her department. After that, Ian and Wan go to eat street food, but May says she will take them to a 5-star hotel with her own money. On the way, they pass Xing Yuan's headquarters, where Jian is working that day. Ian says they could wait there until evening, then return to the hostel with Jian, and May agree. Meanwhile, Jian was at the headquarters with his grandfather Zhao, talking about the PV project. They had no funding for it, but Jian wasn't worried about funds. He could get money from any company or investor. He was worried about some bad machines from Suzuki procurement that needed urgent repair. He also suspected someone inside the company was working against them. Until 2009, their company was the main PV glass supplier in China. After that, the market and industry stopped buying from them, even though their glass was the same quality as the company they started buying from. There was also payment fraud in their PV glass contract. They were doing contracts with IU company too. If someone in their company is causing problems, it can ruin years of partnership with IU Group as well. Since 2009, their relationship with IU Group was already not good. Jian's research impressed his grandfather. Outside Xing Yuan headquarters, May was standing. Ian and Wan thought she was there to see Jian, but May actually wanted to see Fong once because Fong worked near Xing Yuan headquarters in Huaya Bank. She lied to her friends, saying she had come to take them to a 5-star hotel for food. Then May takes them to eat in the hotel. The food prices shocked them. They still didn't know how rich May was and that her father's company had once worked with Jian's company. Meanwhile, May looks out the window towards Huaya Bank. Fong's shift was not finished yet, so after lunch, she takes her friends to a dessert shop near the bank to eat cake to keep them there until Fong finishes his shift. They enjoy dessert and share a lot of story, but May is still waiting to see Fong once. Then she realizes that it was the weekend, so bank was closed, and she couldn't see Fong. May thinks Fong would also probably have a day off like her, but that day, he was working overtime at the bank. He was working on a loan for Xing Yuan Company's PV glass project. During this, an employee tells Fong about Jian. He learns that Jian is the grandson of the company owner, Mr. Zhao, and used to be a surgeon. At this time, Fong gets a message from Wan, who is waiting for him at the same cafe where May had come with her friends for dessert. Fong quickly goes to meet Wan, who had come straight from the station and had also brought some food for him, and buys her coffee. Meanwhile, Wan tells Fong about her college friend's love story. Many of them broke up because of long distance after college. She asks Fong for his opinion on love and asks him that their families want them to get married, but he has never proposed to her. Fong says he would focus on his career for a few years to secure his financial future. Wan feels a little sad after hearing this. May was packing the cake at the cafe to go back to the hostel. Because of just a few minutes delay, May and Fong couldn't meet. Before getting into the cab, May looks towards the bank for a moment, thinking about Fong. On the road, Jian sees her, but he doesn't go to her because he has an appointment with his doctor. In 2011, an accident caused a problem in Jian's left hand, and his therapy was still ongoing. Even now, his left hand was not fully fine, which worried him. After leaving the hospital, he meets a doctor named Tian and is crossing the road while talking. Then he sees a speeding bike about to hit an old lady. Wan catches the lady and moves her aside. The biker falls off his bike. The next day, everyone at the office learns that Jian got a minor injury in yesterday's accident, so Mr. Wu would handle Jian's post at the office. But if any document needed Jian's signature, an employee had to go to his house to get it. Hearing about Jian's accident, May feels very guilty because she had prayed at the temple yesterday to stay away from Jian, so now she feels like her prayer had caused Jian's accident. To ease her guilt, May takes the responsibility to get Jian's signature on important files at his house. She lies to the company, saying it is to correct her impression in front of Jian because she has made many mistakes before. She goes to Jian's house to get his signature on some files. She wants the housemaid to deliver the files to Jian, but but Jian calls her into the study. Inside, Mei sees him sitting in one place and realizes his leg was injured in the accident. She feels very bad. She gives him some files to check and sign. Jian tells his maid to let Mei sit in the living room while he checks the files. Mei waits in the living room, thinking the work will be quick, but her whole day passes there. When maid brings the files back, she tells Mei that Jian has asked her to bring another set of files the next day. The list of those files was sent by Jian. So, the next day, Mei had to come again with more files. Jian again asks her to sit in the living room. Mei asks permission to read the books there because she forgets her phone at the office and has nothing to pass time. Jian thinks she wouldn't understand the book because they were his medical study book. Mei quietly goes to the living room. The maid brings fruits, and Mei learns the maid herself bought these medical books for Jian. Jian had been a genius since childhood and became a skilled surgeon, but no one knew that the accident would change his whole life. This confuses Mei a lot, and the maid doesn't explain everything. Mei spends hours roaming, eating fruits, and passing time. From the living room window, she sees Jian in the study. Jian sees her and calls her into the study. Mei feels embarrassed, thinking he would ask why she was watching secretly, but instead, he starts talking about office matters. He also asks Mei to get the house key card from the maid, because the maid would be on leave the next day. With the card, Mei could enter his house herself. Mei realizes Jian was hinting she has to come to his house the next day. Mei wonders what the office people would think about her visiting Jian's house 3 days in a row. Ian was already asking her if something was going on between her and Jian. Mei doesn't answer her and takes the files again to Jian's house. She first messages Jian for permission to enter. After permission, she goes inside with the key card. Jian asks her to sit in the study this time, not the living room. Mei wonders how to spend her free time while he checks the files. She then sees Jian's empty glass and goes to the kitchen to get water. Soon, she brings back some hot water. Jian asks her why she cares so much and tells her to remember something from a few years back. According to him, this was his second accident. The first accident had taken his career, and if the second accident makes Mei remember what's between them, then he'll feel strangely happy about this accident. But Mei doesn't understand what Jian's talking about. When Mei reaches the office, she sees Mr. Kang outside. 2 people are taking him for questioning about some matter. Mei doesn't pay much attention and hands the files to Ming. Ming tells her that starting tomorrow, Jian will not allow her to come to his house because he will come to the office himself. Mei tells this to her friend Ian. Then Chio comes to take them and other girls to dinner. At dinner, Chio tells them that Mr. Kong was suspected of sharing company secrets with a rival group and misusing company money. The police took him for questioning. The girls are happy to see Mr. Kang's true nature exposed. 10 days later, after Jian's injury has healed, he returns to the office. Mei is very happy to see him and thinks that he will say something to her, but he just calls her to bring a report to his cabin, which feels strange to her. Mei searches online to learn about Jian's medical life. After some time, Mr. Wa holds a meeting, and Miss Fin is given the post of Mr. Kang's department. Then Jian takes some employees and Mei to see the factory. Mei keeps wondering why Jian is not talking to her today. Ian says maybe he's happy with her work, which is why he is not saying anything to her. In Huaya Bank, Fong tells his boss Song that Jian's glass project was struggling due to funding, and he had checked the profits of other PV glass companies as well. Song is happy with Fong's hard work and offers him a job in investment banking. This makes Fong very happy, and he calls his brother to share the news. His brother is also very excited, and he tells Fong that Wan often visits them at their house and spends time with him and their mother, and she even brings gifts for them. Fong doesn't seem very happy about this. The next day, Mei goes to her friend's room to wash her clothes because their room has a washing machine. But Ian is standing outside, and she says that she has left the room key in the office, and Wan is also not arrived yet. Mei goes to the neighboring room, climbs the balcony, and tries to reach her friend's room to open the door. Outside, Jian is walking with a girl and sees Mei on the balcony. The girl screams, shocking Mei, and she nearly falls. Jian runs and catches Mei just in time, holding her in his arms. But Jian's leg gets injured, and Mei gets badly hurt from the fall and faint. Her friends reach her, and Jian calls an ambulance. She is taken to the hospital, where Jian tries to keep her conscious. She even vomits on his clothes, but Jian doesn't get angry. Luckily, Mei survives. though she has some injury. By night, she also regains consciousness. The first person she sees is Jian, who asks her basic questions like her name, address, and work to check if her memory is fine after the head injury. Then Jian scolds her for being careless. Why did she climb the balcony? Why not ask someone else for help? Mei feels bad and starts crying, telling Jian how he tortures her at work, how hectic the factory work is, how she has gotten injured many times and has had to do overtime. She wonders what family rivalry made Jian hate her so much. Hearing this, Jian feels guilty. He realizes he had been too strict unknowingly and apologizes, promising not to repeat it. He tells her that he understands her pain because he has also felt the same one. Mei doesn't fully understand him, and Jian doesn't explain clearly. The story takes us to Jian's 2011 accident, where we learn that he was badly injured. He had survived, but the accident had damaged the nerves in his left hand. He could never fully use it and could no longer perform surgery because hands are the most important for a surgeon. Jian was a neurosurgeon, a job that needed extreme precision. One small mistake with his hands could put a patient in a coma or even kill them. The accident ended Jian's entire career. His friend blamed himself because if he hadn't called Jian to meet Mei in that city, the accident wouldn't have happened. Mei never visited Jian in the hospital, and he wasn't blaming her, but he was a little upset that she didn't come even once. That's why Jian had been strict with her at work, though he also liked her and cared about her. Seeing Mei's big accident reminded Jian of his own, but Mei doesn't remember anything about Jian's accident. He wonders if this was really the Mei that Zhou wanted him to meet. The next day, Jian packs homemade food for Mei in a tiffin. Seeing this, Jian's doctor friend is surprised. He has never seen Jian care for anyone like this. Part 1 ends here. If you liked it, comment below and we'll bring the next part soon. Stay tuned.